Penn State at Ohio State. Ohio State 20.5-point favorite at the crib. Big noon. Fox. This is awkward. This was not the game or the things going into this game we thought we'd be talking about for both sides when we sat here in the month of August and looked down the barrel of some of the biggest games in the Big Ten. But still, even with everything that's gone around Penn State and James Franklin being fired and just the disarray that's been around that program, it's still a really talented Penn State football team. I know you kind of roll your eyes and say, JD, Drew Aller's not playing, and they've lost to Iowa. I hear you. There's still a lot of guys that will play on Sundays on this Penn State football team. The reason why that matters, if you're Ohio State, you can't just roll the ball out there and expect to win. Now, you should expect to win with it being a 3-score favoring you and with what you've done to this point in the year and how Julian Saint's playing, but I'm just making sure we're all aligned here. Penn State is not rolling out there with the Jimmies and Joes of an FCS operation. They're still going to spot the ball. They're still going to play. They're still going to show up with some aggression. That secondary now for Penn State got some guys that can maybe give Julian Saint some issues. Is that the case? We'll see. Now for Penn State, just hear me clearly. I understand life sucks right now. It's bad. It's bad you lost to Iowa. Scored off a blocked field goal is one of the ways that you got in the end zone. It wasn't a great day offensively for you. This was not the year that you all signed up for before the season. This is not the year that I signed up for y'all before the season. I thought you'd be a playoff team along with everybody else. But here's the deal. As bad as it is right now, you know what would make it better? You go beat the defending national champs from last year, a team you haven't been able to beat for the last couple of years. Wouldn't that kind of flip this script a little bit for you? And I don't know if it saves the season, but I tell you what, when you go back through the slideshow of 2025, when those seniors play their last snap in State College, this would be a highlight reel moment. So you're kind of playing with house money here, nothing to lose. Maybe that makes Penn State a touch more dangerous. And with the line being what it is, let's not beat around the bush here. It's going to take something extra from Penn State to win this football game. So what does that extra entail? Watching Penn State without Drew Aller, they've been a little bit more quarterback run-centric, a little bit more read option, a little bit more sleight of hand. For Penn State to win, you have to do that effectively. You have to divide the Ohio State defense effectively in the run game. You got to stay positive. I'm not talking about emotionally. It's a good, competitive disposition to have, kind of positive thinking. But you got to run through arm tackles. You can't be living in a world where it's 3rd and 11 or wherever behind the sticks, period. Because as much as I appreciate the desire to push the football downfield for Penn State, it's probably not happening against this Ohio State defense, at least not without something on the ground for them to have to honor. So you got to find a way to get something from all parties involved running the football. Potluck style. Quarterback run game, traditional running back run game. Heck, I'll take some perimeter run game here to keep it a buck with you. Need to find a way to get something on the ground to stay ahead of the sticks. Ideally, keep that Ohio State offense on the sideline. Easier said than done, but that's what it's going to take, man. You want to have a 3-score upset, it's going to take something like that. In addition to that, you need to swing your sword when it comes to pushing the ball downfield when you do have something on the ground. And I would love explosive plays. I'd take that. But you know what? Can we just say the quiet part out loud? Davidson Igbinosun has not been great when it comes to not getting pass interference penalties. I would try that a few times. And if it's an interception or if it doesn't go your way, I don't know, you're a 3-touchdown dog on the road with your head coach already fired and your quarterback done for the season. Might as well roll the dice a little bit here and see if you can draw a pass interference penalty or two. JD, you're talking about drawing penalties as a game plan. I wouldn't be saying this if I hadn't seen it time and time again. Number one for Ohio State, be a little bit grabby. Good player, Sunday future, rangy corner, but I've seen a couple of times the lack of desire to look back at that football exists. 15 yards is 15 yards. I don't care how you get it. I try that a few times if I'm Penn State. Now, I think for Ohio State, I say all these things about Penn State, the ways they can beat you, the way they can make it interesting. Ohio State, you can end this thing early. You can. It's Halloween weekend out there in Columbus. It's a noon kick. You probably have plans after the game. You can start thinking about those plans in the third quarter if you make this thing definitively your game in the first half. Because Penn State, you just lost to Iowa. I've said that now a couple of times throughout this breakdown. I don't know where the overall competitive will is at for Penn State. If I'm a Penn State player and Ohio State jumps up 24-0 at half, are we really coming out guns blazing in that third quarter? Is there really a ton of belief, a ton of desire to go out there for another 2 quarters and run our face into Sonny Styles and go have to try to run the football against Arvell Reese and what that overall just Ohio State defense is doing, I don't know where the offense comes from for Penn State. Again, I'm trying to forecast pass interference penalties for Penn State to move the football. I don't know where that's coming from. Ohio State's allowing less than a touchdown a game. Y'all, that is ridiculous. That is stupid. So maybe the defense finds a way to get on the board for Penn State. That'd be one thing. Does Julian Sayin have the gutter ball game here? I suppose that possibility exists, but that dude to this point in the year is only continuing to ramp up and get better. I'd be shocked if we saw him trot out there against Penn State and throw 3 picks, which I think is probably the number you'd have to get if you're Penn State to win this football game. Now, here's why. Here's all I needed to see from Penn State on tape to make me feel pretty good about Ohio State winning and covering this number. 4th and 4 against Iowa. Iowa trots out there in 0 coverage and is blitzing their quarterback. They weren't worried about Penn State at all pushing the ball downfield. So if I was doing that, the Ohio State secondary and Ohio State defense should feel more than comfortable doing whatever they want on the defensive side of the football. I think Ohio State wins. I think they cover. I think they grab the game early. I think it's boring in the 4th quarter. I hate this for Penn State. I hope they're able to hire the right coach and get back on the right side of things when it comes to the conversation in the college football world. Tough year for Penn State. Tough situation to walk into with an Ohio State team ramping up and playing some of their best football offensively right now. I didn't even mention the names Carnell Tate or Jeremiah Smith just yet. I'll say those out loud so they're in the prediction video. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, probably going to have a good game, I'd have to imagine, by nature of Ohio State ramping up their offensive approach and pushing the ball downfield. Ohio State wins, Ohio State covers, and vibes stay immaculate for Halloween weekend out there in Columbus.